Business Live today.
My name is Daryl Carl. Thanks for being with us tonight. In our first story, Guinness Ghana breweries is to help improve the yields of local farmers in order to give meaning to the government's planting for food and jobs agenda. In this regard, the company is liaising with the Agric Ministry to boost agric productivity. Ebenezer Sabote has more in this report.
The private sector continues to offer support for government's flagship policy, planting for food and jobs. The latest to do so is Guinness Ghana Breweries. The company has hinted of plans to finalize an agreement with the Agric Ministry to help improve the yield of farmers participating in the initiative. Guinness Ghana Breweries has in the last 5 years used local raw materials for production of its beverages. It is currently using about 50% local raw materials and seeking to boost it to 80% by 2020. The company therefore believes a partnership with government in the Planting for Food and Jobs program will therefore yield mutual benefits. Gabriel Opoku Asare is the Director of Corporate Affairs.
Absolutely. We've started conversations with governments on the Planting for Food and Jobs. We actually partner in the Ministry of Agric, and we should be signing an MOU soon with government to join government to ensure that we can increase the harvest of these farmers, the produce of these farmers, by providing them with farming inputs, and also to work with a larger group of farmers. We're currently working with around 13,000 farmers, and this project is actually supporting their livelihoods. They can put their kids in school, they can provide for their family, they have a guaranteed off-taker for their produce, and this is such a fantastic initiative, and this is where public and private sector can join together to create a massive impact for Ghana.
Emphasized the need for farmers to boost their production if the company is to produce all its raw materials locally.
Yes, in some of the I would say the products that we saw, the raw material, they are able to meet our demand. But we want to encourage more farmers to go into sorghum farming, to maize farming, and also to cassava farming. These are the raw material we source currently, but we are looking for other raw material to source locally as well.
He spoke with Joy Business after addressing participants at the just-ended 4th Corporate Social Responsibility Conference in Accra.
Now, GASEM has ruled out any price increase of its products as a result of the implementation of the VAT flat rate scheme by government. Managing Director of the company, Morton Gade, disclosed this in an interview after the launch of the 50th anniversary of GASEM in Accra.
The 3% tax came into force last Saturday, the 1st of July, following the passage of the new VAT Rate Act 2017. According to stakeholders, it is likely to affect wholesalers and retailers of goods, including importers. Some manufacturing companies, including those food and beverage subsector, have, however, warned of price increases and even layoffs from the implementation. But speaking with Joy Business at the sidelines of the launch of the 50th anniversary of GASEM, Managing Director Morton Gade said the tax won't have any effect on prices of its products, at least for now.
The effect of that is, we don't expect too much effect of that. Let me first say that, the way it operates, because it's limited to, the distributor retail level. And therefore, we don't see the major impact on either our profit and loss account or that of our major customers.
Okay, so do I understand that you're not going to pass it on to the consumers?
We need to evaluate how the process is working, but we have no plans immediately to pass on the 3% to the customers.
On the issue of unfair trade practices by some cement importers, Morton Gade was confident the newly inaugurated Ghana International Trade Commission will address concerns of local manufacturers.
The present government has only been in office for the last 4 or 5 months, and I think it always takes a little bit of time before they hit the ground running. What is important, and the Honourable Minister mentioned that a couple of times this evening, that the GITC committee is being inaugurated, so we can ensure that we have fair trade practices in Ghana. That is not only for the cement industry, that goes for all manufacturing sectors. So by doing that, the government will help to ensure that we have sanity in the system, and that the factories, which are very important for employment in this country, can continue to produce and have a market to produce and are not being undercut by dumping.
As part of the 50th anniversary celebration, GASEM will be holding fun games with the multimedia group during the year.
Well, still on this VAT flattery scheme, Parliament's Finance Committee has summoned the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to an emergency meeting tomorrow morning over the introduction of the 3% VAT flat rate scheme. Among others, the committee members are raising concerns that the Ghana Revenue Authority has introduced exemptions for some traders that the law backing the scheme did not capture. The committee will also be seeking clarification about double taxation and possible increase in prices as a result of the scheme. Well, my colleague Joseph Opoku-Gakpo was in Parliament today. He followed proceedings in Parliament. Lead us or get us to understand more of what the Finance Committee's arguments were.
And so the explanation we're getting is that there was a petition to the Finance Committee from the Association of Ghana Industries and a number of other business dealers. The indication is that this was a petition that was sent to a number of stakeholders, including the Parliament of Ghana. So it's gotten to the level of the Finance Committee of Parliament. And so, first of all, the Association of Ghana Industries is raising all the concerns that it drew attention to, issues about, double taxation, we are told, and concerns about how this may lead to a situation where it will be more expensive doing business in the country. So the Finance Committee has indicated that they've looked at this petition. They are equally concerned. They make the point that particularly the minority members are drawing attention to the fact that when it comes to the law that they passed to allow for this, for example, it didn't capture importers and exporters. This was meant to be for wholesalers and retailers. Importers and exporters weren't captured, but from the evidence that they've seen, there's a situation where importers and exporters are being allowed to benefit from this VAT flat scheme rate. And so the indication is that tomorrow letters have been sent out to the Minister for Finance himself, the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, as well as the leadership of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and additionally all these agencies that send the petition to Parliament over this. They are meeting at 10 a.m. in Parliament House tomorrow to deliberate on this, and then a decision will be taken on what happens next.
I mean, listening to people, you get the sense that lots of people misunderstand what is going on. You get the same sense from Parliament as well? Precisely.
Beyond the members of the Finance Committee themselves who are able to explain things to you and tell you about how come the situation is so, a lot of others don't understand, and that's how come the members of the committee are again concerned, because they make the point that this is something that we're expecting a lot of education to go into, even ahead of the rolling out of this flat VAT rate scheme, which they indicate that they get the sense GRA did not do enough of it, which is one of the reasons why they would want them to come before them tomorrow, explain and roll out a strategy when it comes to the kind of education that would go into it. But at the level of the minority in Parliament, particularly the spokesperson on finance, Atoforsen, he indicates that for the minority, their position is that it's important that at this stage, government pulls brake on the implementation of this particular scheme, go and re-strategize, and subsequent decisions should be taken later. But for now, they want a definite halt when it comes to the implementation.
Yeah, and that makes how many times the finance minister has been summoned to Parliament?
Well, on the floor itself, beyond reading the budget, recently he came in connection with the bond issue. When it comes to the Finance Committee, he's been appearing there very frequently, and looks like tomorrow will be the next time that he'll be appearing before them.
Seems it's quite busy there at the Finance Ministry. Thanks very much indeed, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, bringing us up to speed. We'll still remain in Parliament because the minority has reacted to Energy Minister Boakye Jako's press conference on the issue of Boss contaminated fuel. At the press conference, the minority leader Haruna Idrisu criticized the security agencies who took part in what he described as a hurried investigation.
We are worried and we are concerned as a minority that the Bureau of National Investigation, a respected state intelligence and security agency, should not be reduced this low. Should not be reduced this low. And its integrity should not be compromised on the altar of partisan favoritism. And therefore, the BNI, we have some advice for them. You recall that even when we were vetting, there was some official correspondence from the BNI to Parliament, the Appointments Committee, that turned out to be misleading, even though they have not publicly come out to tell us that what they formally gave to Parliament was reliable, accurate, or inaccurate. We will challenge them to do so, or else there has been cited for contempt of parliament because they are a state institution of the republic and they owe the Parliament of Ghana every reasonable, accurate information. So if they give information to Parliament that turns out to be untrue, they have a duty to establish the veracity of what they communicated. I'm just saying this so that you are not carried away that an investigation which was yet to start has ended, all by the Bureau of National Investigation of contaminated fuel of a person purported to have financed the new patriotic party. As you heard leading members deal with this issue, company over there now in famous 5 million liters contaminated fuel affair. Following the expose, the National Petroleum Authority had an official release confirming our position. Also, another state institution to somersault after a few hours. They don't know that official communication is official communication. They already communicated to the people of Ghana what your position was and whether the entities that they were dealing with were registered with the MPA in accordance with law.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, has also reacted to the Boss saga. COPEC says the investigations fell short of outstanding answers to some pertinent questions on the issue. The Executive Secretary of the Chamber, Nankan Amwa, has been speaking to Joy Business.
We would want to see people not only named and shamed, but we want to see prosecutions so that for tomorrow, anybody intending to sell Ghana's oil cheap, downgrade or destroy the product and sell cheap will be forewarned, because there's a precedent where some engaged in that and were punished. Unfortunately, we are not seeing any of that. Today we are talking of slop, we are talking of sludge, contaminated. Boss will sell, slop, sludge, tar is selling, standard operating procedures. In fact, there's something we call procedure for disposal. If there's even a sludge or slop, there has to be a procedure for disposal that must be clearly captured by the company intending to do business with tar or Boss. That must also be backed by an EPA certification or license that says we know this company has ABC facility to be able to hold and dispose of products to this tune. Unfortunately, that is not being used in the country because some people's interest would supersede what the regulations say.
We'll have more on this story as it unfolds. You're watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back with the Joy Business van. Welcome back to our program. Now, it's been an amazing 5 months for Mamiefo Tando, who quit her corporate job after 9 years to pursue her love for anything fashion and African print. The founder and creative lead at Love Ankara is gradually carving a niche as a go-to person for fashion accessories, including her flagship ballerina shoes. So, what's her story? Well, the Joy Business van heads out to discover more about her business. Mamiefo Tando is at one of Ghana's biggest markets, Makula, doing what she loves best, looking for interesting African prints. She's here to pick up fabric for her products.
So I've worked in corporate Ghana for almost 9 years. My career has been interesting. It has taken me from international development to business development to marketing and sales and IT. And in the last few years, I found myself working in one of the biggest textile brands in the world, or in Africa and in the world. And whilst there, I got really excited because fashion has always been a big part of who I am. I've always loved print. I've always wanted to do something in fashion.
Mamiefo decided to quit and set up Love Ankara. Ankara, a Yoruba word for African print.
It also took a lot to jump out of a career which was secure, you didn't make enough money and everything, and say, I'm going to go out at it on my own now. So what I did is I literally saved my last 3 months' salary and I put it into the business because I needed that capital to just jumpstart whatever dream I had.
Her dream and vision for Love Ankara is for it to be the #1 fashion and decor retail brand in Ghana. Mamiofo started off with her flagship machine-washable African print ballerinas. It took a month to make her first pair.
So this was the very first pair that was made. This one doesn't have any branding in it because we had to test it first. And what was important to me was the fact that I had to walk in my own shoes before I could let any other person do that. Because it was important that I experienced what it felt like to walk in it, to use it, to wash it, because it's a big part of what makes us stand apart. Like the fact that 1, we're using authentic prints, 2, it's machine washable, and the fabric and the colors don't fade or run, and it was foldable, so I could easily fold it and put it in my bag or my clutch or my purse and just go. So I had to make sure that it really did fit all these. I could tick the boxes when it came to all these things.
From 1 shoe a month, Mamiofo now makes about 100 shoes a month for both the local and international market. So what's the feedback from her customers?
It's been really great. I think the first thing is they're actually surprised because our products are packaged in our boxes. So this is our typical shoebox, but it doesn't look like a typical shoebox. So usually when our dispatch people take it to them and they see it for the first time, they're like, where are my shoes? And we're like, it's in the box. Because they can't imagine that a shoe would fit into this. So it's very unconventional. Because of our packaging, we've been able to sell way more than we actually envisaged we'll be able to sell.
Most of Mamiofo's items are purchased online, but she also stocks some traditional shops. Social media has been phenomenal in growing Mamiofo's 5-month-old business.
It's been mind-blowing. I didn't think, I mean, the first few weeks I was like, who's going to buy? Okay, I have friends. They're going to buy, but really, who else? I mean, if I exhaust my friends, who else is going to buy the shoes? But interestingly, a lot of people have found us through social media. Social media has been a game changer for us. We've actually sold a lot more through Facebook and Instagram than even the stockists that we've partnered with, even though they are also contributing quite a bit with helping with our visibility. So social media has been really good for us.
Mamiofo's shoes are manufactured in Kumasi, and she makes use of the working space provided by tech hub iSpace. She has started making other products aside her ballerinas. She admits manufacturing is tough, but this will not stop her from pursuing her dreams.
I want us to be the go-to place for African print accessories, shoes, fashion, decor, which we're hoping to do in future. So I want us to be that go-to place. I also want us to contribute and really educate people in terms of understanding why it is important for us to push forth this agenda of buying and using authentic prints is really something that's dear to our hearts. So that's what I'm hoping we can do to give back and preserve our local textile industry.
Real cool. Well, now we want to turn to our computer tips for today on your Busy Bits.
Sometimes you just want to print out a whole bunch of files all at once. This is how to do so. First, go to the location of the files you want to print. Then select all the files that you want to print. You can do this by opening up the folder where the files are and then left-clicking and dragging a box around all the files. Right-click on the selected files, Select Print from the menu that appears.
Time now for our interview of the day, and the Chief Executive of Ghana Grid Company, William Amuna, has assured there is adequate power to supply the nation when the planned shutdown of the Jubilee FPSO takes effect. Now, this follows the improvement in both the water levels in the Akosombo and Bui dams. Partners of the Jubilee field have declared their intention to have a planned shutdown of the floating processing storage offloading, that's FPSO facility, on the Jubilee field to allow for routine maintenance. There's more now on our interview of the day.
Interview of the day.
Enough supply. AXA has come in with additional power. Asogli is running, and we really have more than enough. And
AXA from where, please?
AXA is a Turkish company in Tema, so we may not need that.
How many megawatts of power are they bringing in?
Presently, they give us 170 megawatt, and Asogli has come in over 200 megawatt more. So we are more than covered, even if it goes down.
So are you ensuring us that when Sankofa goes?
Definitely. We don't even import power from Côte d'Ivoire anymore. We don't. We have more than enough power. We don't run all the generators, and the lake level is also rising very well. So we are okay.
You mean the Akosombo Dam is rising?
Akosombo Dam is rising, yeah.
What about Bui?
Bui is also rising.
Okay, so
yeah.
Are we able to export power to our neighbors?
We can export power to them.
We can, but we are not doing.
We reduce the export to them because they don't need it too much now.
Okay, with the partnership for growth, what is there in it for Gridco?
Well, for Gridco, we want to develop our network, and one of the goals is on the transmission and distribution, and we think it is something that would help us in our studies, the various studies that we are conducting, and then the expansion of the grid system. So that's what we're working on.
So if I may ask, how much are they bringing in for the supply side?
For now, there has been a study by USTDA on the expansion in the western part of the country, but we are yet to get to the development stage. So we'll be working on that soon.
Interview of the day.
And that's it for our program tonight. Of course, you can always keep up to date on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. You can read the story about the minority raising questions about the $2.5 billion energy bond, that press conference today. Of course, all the videos that you've missed out on. My name is Daryl Kwao. Stay tuned.